Hello, and welcome back to my podcast. Today, I wanted to talk to you about my favorite supplements for anxiety. As usual, when I talk about supplements, just going to remind you that this is just generic advice. When I see clients in person, I take their full medical history, I look at their medications, check for interactions, and so on. So this is just generic advice. Having said that, these are products that are well researched in the evidence, and also a couple of them in particular are very safe for most people. So I'll talk you through that in a little second. Um, yeah, so let's get started. Before you spend a lot of money on products for anxiety, however, I always want to say to people that just think about your lifestyle and your diet first, because actually you can't really supplement your way out of a lot of things, including anxiety. And when I'm talking about anxiety as well, I'm sort of talking about general anxiety, sort of a state of nervousness. Maybe you sort of get your heart races a little bit and so on. Just a little, you feel overwhelmed, you feel tense. If you do suspect a mental health serious issue, please go and see your doctor first. But just back to the lifestyle, diet and lifestyle. When it comes to anxiety, I really think lifestyle makes a massive difference. So just the basics, good sleep, um, having kind of some kind of stress management situation going on. So of course we can't take away the stresses that you're going through or you've been through, but having some structure around regular relaxation practices, moderate exercise, and then eating regular meals. Skipping meals is a real problem for anxiety. It really can drive it up, and that will mess up your blood sugar levels, because chances are then you'll grab something quite high energy, your blood sugars will be up and down, and that will just make the anxiety worse. So structured, nourishing meals, and also staying hydrated. So all of those things in place, and time away from screens, limiting your exposure to things like the news, getting support, all of those things. So I also have another playlist which is about relaxation practices. So you might like to look at that, because as a hypnotherapist, obviously I do work with a lot of people with stress and anxiety. So there are some different resources on there for you, which you might find as a complement to this. So back to the supplements. By the way, if you find my podcasts and my videos helpful, please like and share, because you have to work hard with this algorithm on social media nowadays, and to get anybody to see them, because I'm so unknown, I really do need the algorithm to like me, and by doing a few likes and comments, it really helps me to spread my word elsewhere. Anyway, so my absolute favorite supplement for anxiety is magnesium. You might have heard of magnesium already. Magnesium does hundreds of jobs in the body. Interestingly, it really does help with energy production as well, but one of the most popular uses for magnesium is for anxiety and sleep. Magnesium comes in different formats. So first of all, it's important to get the right one for you. Although I don't necessarily use the same thing for everybody, most commonly I use something called magnesium glycinate. And this form is very gently absorbable, so it doesn't upset your tummy. It's particularly good for anxiety. And yeah, it's a popular one. So you'll find that readily available from different companies. When you're looking for a product, I always say to people, just look at the ingredients, try and choose something that's quite pure, hasn't really got a lot of added ingredients. Of course, you can get it in a tablet. Tablets have got more added ingredients. Capsule will have a fewer ingredients. You can also get magnesium in the body, apart from food, of course, leafy greens, nuts and seeds, through body lotions, body balms, sprays, having a soak in an Epsom salts bath. So there's multiple ways of increasing your magnesium in a supplemental way. Other forms of magnesium, whilst we're on the subject, include magnesium citrate. Now, magnesium citrate is fairly absorbable, but just not as absorbable as magnesium glycinate. But some people find it useful for as part of a combined formula, particularly if they also have constipation or sluggish bowels. So citrate can help move the bowels along. And you might find that your formula contains a mixture of glycinate, citrate, and oxide. And if that works for you, that's fine. Generally speaking, magnesium oxide is quite poorly absorbed. So that's why I recommend magnesium glycinate. There is a magnesium called magnesium threonate. I think at this point, I might be wrong, but I don't think myself as a nutritional therapist, I can recommend it, because it's one of those things that we have to be careful. There's a difference between a supplement and a medical product. And when a supplement becomes of a certain efficiency, it suddenly becomes seen as a medical product. And so I think magnesium threonate is something that, because it crosses the blood-brain barrier or something, I don't think I can recommend it to clients, but I believe it's particularly helpful for migraines. So you might come across that in your research. In terms of interactions, obviously it's important to check medications and things. Mostly, I don't see any interactions with magnesium. The only thing that came up for me once was Parkinson's as a health condition. So if you have Parkinson's disease, then magnesium is contraindicated. I don't know why, because of course we all need magnesium, but it might be that you just work on getting the magnesium from your food. So magnesium then, that's my favorite. Oh, when to take it. Some people like to take it just before bed because it can help their sleep. But interestingly, some people find, not many people, but this does happen, that actually taking it before sleep affects their sleep in a negative way, and then they can't sleep. So you might have to experiment and take your magnesium at other times of the day. It can still support your anxiety, even if you take it at other times of the day, but it just might not interfere with your sleep. So, take it. I always think the best time to take a supplement is the time you're going to remember to take the supplement. So I have mine by my bed, and I find I only need one, even though the dose is between 1 and 2, and I sleep pretty well. So that's what I do. The other one, when I say the other one, there's a few supplements I was going to suggest, but my other favorite is called L-theanine. L-theanine is actually found naturally. It's an amino acid, so it's found naturally in tea, green tea and black tea. If you do a little Google, it will just tell you it's in green tea, but that's not true. It's in normal tea. And if you're a tea fan, you drink a cup of tea, and yes, it's got some caffeine in it, but you kind of get that sort of feeling. That's the L-theanine. It's sort of that sense of relaxation that you get. But of course, taking it as a capsule, you can have more of a therapeutic dose. You might not like drinking tea, and obviously there is no caffeine in this product. L-theanine is something that's really helpful for calming the nervous system, helping produce something called GABA, which is all part of the sort of anti-anxiety mechanisms going on in the brain. And it can also help a little bit with focus as well. I think it's particularly useful for students and pupils who are taking exams who've got anxiety, that they need to relax, but they don't want to be feeling all snoozy like you might do if you'd had like a chamomile tea or something like that. It's best taken on an empty stomach, but because it's better absorbed like that. But it's not the end of the day, end of the world if you take it at other times. But yeah, you can take it near bedtime. It will help sleep, but it won't make you sleepy. So you can take it then, or you can take it first thing in the morning at the beginning of your day. Particularly good if you start your day feeling quite anxious. So L-theanine is that one. Again, I've not seen it interact with anything, but that doesn't guarantee that it doesn't interact with your medical condition or your medicines that you're taking. So always check, but it's pretty safe. It's non-addictive, non-drowsy, and suitable for most people. So that's another one. And you can take magnesium and L-theanine together, so that's absolutely fine. Yeah, so that's another one that I recommend. Another supplement that I really like for anxiety and also for low mood is saffron. Saffron, you might know, is a herb. Is it a herb or a spice? I think it's a spice. It's like orange strands, orangey red strands that used in cooking. It's very expensive, actually. But this spice, herb, flower, whatever it is, has been shown now to have really helpful effects on the brain, and it apparently has two mechanistic ways of working in terms of supporting mood and anxiety. It might interact perhaps if you are taking some hormonal medications. I don't know, I'd have to look into it. So do look into that. But I recommend it for clients who are struggling with PMDD. So that's really severe and debilitating sort of form of premenstrual tension, but much more debilitating. It's actually seen as a mental health issue. But low mood and anxiety, possibly low mood and anxiety in menopause, it can be really helpful, or just general PMT type situation. But not just limited to women. Of course, men can take it as well for low mood and anxiety. So that's another one that I really like. Excuse my hair blowing around. I've got a fan here because every time I film these podcasts, it's always a heat wave. So another one that you'll come across a lot when you're doing your searches for herbs and supplements for anxiety is ashwagandha. I did a short video on ashwagandha, so you can go and have a look at that. Yes, it can help lower cortisol or manage your cortisol. Yes, it can help some people feel relaxed. I don't use it myself. I don't get on with it. It's hard to put my finger on what it is that doesn't suit me. I have talked a little bit about, for some people, not everybody, can have a bit of an estrogenic effect. I'm not sure the mechanism behind that, but it's something to sort of think about if that sounds like something relevant to you. But some people get on really well with it. So, as always, everyone is different. It's very popular, particularly with men as well. It's also in a lot of menopause supplements. So, something to think about, but it's not a wonder herb. Nothing is really. So there's probably other things. There are other things, of course there are, but I think that's probably enough for now. But as always, please, consider diet and lifestyle first, because you could be popping all the pills in the world. But you really do need to look at the bigger picture of what's going on. So stress management, whether that's walking in nature, whether that's breath work, supporting your sleep, nourishing regular meals, avoiding stimulants, so limiting caffeine and alcohol, and smoking, will all be helpful as well. I hope you found that useful. See you again. Thanks for being here.